Hey guys.
Hello, hello. Welcome back to a couple weeks off, maybe a full month at this point.
I know, right? So much happening. Sick babies, holidays. Life gets real.
Yeah, the holidays just kind of like you do what you can. It's a wild time. So we're
Absolutely.
super excited. Yeah, we're super excited to come to you guys today. We actually been thinking about this topic for multiple weeks now. Really excited to dive into it. And it came up because I saw a podcast, the name of a podcast show, and I was like, that's interesting. And I read a little bit more about it and I thought that is brilliant. So we're going to talk about that today. But if you're new here, welcome. This is the Mompreneur Playbook. My name is Nicole Mace. I am a digital agency operations strategist from the System CEO. And this is my wonderful co-host, Spring.
Hey guys, I'm Spring Richardson Perry. I am the president and founder of Time to Spring Forward. It is an organizational effectiveness consulting firm. So I do leadership development, career coaching, and so much more in between, professional development, all that good stuff. So we are excited to be coming to you guys today. We are typically every other week going live. So please join us as often as you can. And if you are watching live, put hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, please put hashtag replay and let us know your thoughts, any comments that you have as you're watching it. We love to hear from you guys.
Yeah. And if you're thinking right now, okay, we have an operations strategist for agencies over here, and then we have an organizational leadership consultant over here. What are we doing together? Well, let us tell you. We are moms who are running, growing, and building a business. And so that is very unique in and of itself. We wanted to create a space to talk about the realness of raising a family and a business simultaneously. And there are a couple podcasts and platforms now that are really starting to talk about the dichotomy of being a mama of little kids and building a business simultaneously. But we thought there needs to be more because years ago, when we were really wanting a space where we can talk to other moms who are going on this huge adventure, along with being a mom as an adventure, and diving into being an entrepreneur, which we thought was kind of crazy, we wanted a space to talk to women about this as well. So we're wanting to create this here, talk about the realness of being a mama and an entrepreneur, as well as create a community around it. So we do have a Facebook community called the Mompreneur Playbook. You can search that, join us there. And it's just a place to be supportive and have community around doing this work. Both of it, both kinds of work.
Absolutely. And we really just wanted to provide support to you guys who are in the same space with us because as we were looking for support, it was just few, few,
Yeah.
few things out there, very limited. There's always something about entrepreneurs and how to build out your business. But for mompreneurs, that looks a lot different because, again, you're raising babies, you have a family, a household to run, and then you're running a business. And especially if you're a solopreneur, you're the only person in your business, it's even more challenging. So, this is why we're here. We get it. We're in that space with you guys in the trenches, as they say. And so, it gets very real. You will see my little girl pop up on a screen with us from time to time.
Yes.
Because,
We are
again,
walking the walk
yes,
as we speak about it.
yes. So we are in it with you guys.
Yeah. So today we actually, like I said at the beginning, I saw a podcast called The Refund Show, and I thought, what is this about? That sounds really funny. And The Refund Show, which is by Sarah Schultz, I believe she's a designer of some kind, like a branding design, I believe she does, but her websites are beautiful. So Sarah Schultz has this podcast show called The Refund Show, and her and another person, I believe, co-hosting most of the time. And the whole point of this podcast is to talk about all the advice that they have gotten for business over the years that they would like a full refund on. That advice did not serve them. They'd like to give it back. They found a better way. And so that just really resonated with me. Spring and I have been in this online entrepreneurial space for years. I mean, I'm going on year 4. Spring, you've been in this for a similar amount of time.
Yeah, I'm going on it'll be year 3 for me in April.
Yeah. So we have taken courses and gone to masterminds and paid to be part of communities and have bought resources and have just tried to soak up as much business knowledge as possible from all these gurus out here. And listen, learning is learning. You're going to learn the things that work for you and learn from the things that don't work for you. And so from all these years of absorbing all this business knowledge, we both come from an education background. So we're excellent students. But we have come across some pieces of advice that we would like a full refund on.
Complete refund. Like, can I
Yeah.
please have my time back? My time is my money.
Time and money, right? Because we're like, this is just not it. So today's episode is actually shifting a little bit from that and saying, okay, what are the real pieces of advice, like the no BS bottom line, the things that will actually help you build your business, sustainable business? What are those things? So we came up with 8 facts that will help you cut through that online business guru BS. All right. I just want to dive in. Do you want to say anything before we get to these? I just love these so much.
I love them too, and I can't wait for us to get started. So let's jump right in and get started with this because I think you guys are really gonna like this.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So again, these are 8 different facts. The first one we want to mention is the fact that it's all about volume. No other guru, I don't really hear this ever, but it's all about volume. If you can do something way more times, you're going to get better at it and you're going to have success. Period. It is volume. So something I wanted to point out is that, like Kobe Bryant, he wasn't the best player when he started. And the best players were doing 2 practices a day. So he did 4 for as long, how many years it took him to catch up and surpass him. Literally volume. There's an interview of him talking about, well, if you train at this time in the morning and then you have lunch and then you train again in the afternoon, and then you have dinner and go to bed. He was talking about, well, if I get up at 4:30 and train from 7 to 9 and then have breakfast and then train from 11 to 1 and have lunch. So he was just going over his schedule of how he was able to 4 times the amount of practice or the volume that he got in and what kind of trajectory that led to his skills being better than everyone else on the team. It is volume, friends. So if you feel like you don't have the skills that you want or the success you want, double, triple, quadruple your volume, you will get there. Period.
But so the question, Nicole, is how do I do that? How do I double, triple, or quadruple my volume if I don't have the volume coming in the first place?
The volume, meaning like if you are wanting to practice more with clients or just all over business aspects volume.
Yeah, just practice more with clients.
So I'm a big proponent of doing very much reduced rate service because you're actually going to be getting or obtaining more skill and more knowledge learning from doing it versus however much that person is paying you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I've even seen people start out and say, I will do this for you for free. Maybe it's one client, maybe it's like a smaller version of your full service or your consultation. But it's understanding that when you're starting out, even if you have a great skill set, you are still very much a learner. And so you want to be in the place where I want to do as much as I can to be the best at this and to create the most perfect solution that you can. So at the beginning, be willing to put in the work for a reduced rate or for free.
And that's what's going to happen, guys. You're going to have to put in the work in the beginning. And once you establish yourself as the expert for this particular thing, then everything else will fall into place. And so it kind of seems like, oh, why would I do that? Sell my services for free. But at the same time, you have to start somewhere. So it's just like getting into the job market, right? You know, your overall career goal is to someday be in senior management, but you can't start there because you have to get the experience first. So you start at the entry level position and then you work your way up into that senior level position that you're seeking to have. And so it's the same when you're looking at your business and how you build it out. So I love that advice, Nicole, because it's, you know, it's simple, right? We do more so that we get more experience, but then it's not so simple because you start to think, well, how do I get the business if I'm not getting the business? And when you have your services at reduced rates, or you offer a portion of your service for free, then you start to establish yourself as the expert in whatever it is in that area, and then more people start to come to you organically or through
Yeah,
referrals.
exactly. When you're doing an excellent job, and you ask for referrals, that's the other thing. You have to ask for it. You're going to be able to connect with more people that need your type of service so much faster and easier. And yes, there comes to a point where, you can't work for free anymore. And I do have a little bit of a formula to work through that. But I do also want to emphasize, in order to do a lot more volume, especially as a mama, we don't have all day and all night just to like sit behind the screen and work, right? So we have to get hyper focused on who we're serving, how we're serving them, um, and that's really it. You have to get hyper focused on what problem you're solving for whom. That's it. So you're able to put in so much more work and so much more mileage down the road if you are hyper focused. So that's how you can get in more volume without expecting to take up all the hours of the day and the night.
And we actually had an episode previously on maximizing your time. So check that one out.
Right. Excellent. Okay. So volume is key. That's the key to success. I wish someone would have told me that so much longer or long ago, because when you are taking these courses on how to market and how to sell and, how to provide your services, you are thinking, I'm doing something wrong. There's so many things I don't know, which is true in the beginning for everyone, but all you need is volume. You don't need another, $5,000 mastermind, $10,000 mastermind or whatever. Put in the volume, put your head down and do the work.
And do the work. Let us be your mastermind, and
Yeah.
we're coming at you for free. So
Yeah. All right, friends, let's go to fact number 2 that's going to cut through that online guru BS. All right, so this one says, you don't need to be everywhere doing all the things. So
OMG. Say it again, Nicole.
you don't need to be everywhere doing all the things. That is so hard because everyone's trying to sell you their method that worked for them, and maybe they have results with other people, but that doesn't mean that's what you have to do in order to be successful.
Right. And it doesn't mean that you need to be on all the platforms doing it either,
Right.
because that is another common misconception.
Right.
There are all sorts of apps out there that will connect all of your social medias so that you can blast the message at one time to each social media channel. However, every social media channel has its own vibe. So there's a way that you market on LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
but it's different than how you're going to market on Facebook. And it's completely different than how you're going to market on Instagram, because
Right.
you can't even post links on Instagram because they're not live.
Right.
So again, you do not have to be in all the places all the time.
Right.
Please keep that in mind. We also did an episode on that and how to cut through that foolishness. It is not necessary at all.
Right. We say pick one channel. Pick one channel and be consistent and show up for those people on there. There are plenty of people on whatever channel you pick, and you're going to pick the channel where you are vibing the most with it. You can feel like you can put your real, authentic self comes through in that medium. Pick that one. That's it. That's all you need. One channel, one target market, one offer. Okay. So I do want to say that when you are picking your target market, you want to make sure this is kind of where you can find a pitfall. So if you're not picking the right target market. So I'm going to say, remember to pick a target market, a group of people that you can connect with and you can speak with and have good conversations with. You want to make sure this market is growing. So somehow, some way to identify them, it's a growing market, and that they have some kind of hair on fire problem that's like easy to point out, right? That's the type of target market you want to figure out first, then go all in with them. Then you need to figure out an offer that solves a problem, a hair on fire, like right now problem for them. And again, one channel, be consistent. That's all you need.
That's all you need. One channel.
That's it. That's all the marketing advice you need. Okay, so number 3. This took me a long time to figure out because I just figured everyone has this like magical offer name, this like jazzy, spunky, how do I make all the names or all the words in this offer rhyme or be an alliteration? You don't need like a beautiful offer name or solution. Your solution, the one thing it needs to do is solve the problem. That's it. Okay. So this is how you're going to solve that problem. It's literally this simple. So if you have a pen and paper, get this out, take notes on it. This is going to be the most simple way to solve your target market's problem. Okay. The first thing you're going to want to do is identify their dream outcome. Where do they want to be? Paint that picture. What's their ideal dream outcome? Okay. Once you have that component, you're going to list out, like bullet point out, what are all of their perceived roadblocks? Why did they think that they can't get there? That's not likely for them to be able to get to that dream outcome. For every single one of those roadblocks, you are going to flip that roadblock into like a mini solution, a way to solve just that one little roadblock. Once you have your list of solving each roadblock, you now have a package. Okay, so you now have a package solution. And your goal with this package solution is to try to reduce as much as you can any time they have to put into using the solution, the effort that they have to put into using your solution, or the risk that goes into using your solution. You can get those 3 factors really, really low, and you have a stack of ways for them to get over limiting beliefs, get to that dream outcome. That's it. That's all you need. Solve their problem. That's it. I wish someone told me that so long ago.
And it's the same for me, right? Because I always felt like I needed to have this really, really crafty name and that everything had to just go around it. And don't get me wrong, my name itself has a lot of play on it. And so it has worked out well for me.
Right.
But then as I was thinking about offers and like different things that I was offering and wanted to call it, I was trying to come up with all different kinds of things. It's like, you know what? Just offer it and then let them call it whatever they call it. Tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, whatever. Nobody cares about the name.
No.
They just want to know that you can solve the problem that they have. And once I figured that out, it was golden.
Right. And that's how easy it is to figure out in solving that problem. List out all the things they perceive as their roadblock, why they can't get there. And then answer or solve all of those. That's your offer. That's it. Okay, so that's 4. We're halfway there. Nope, just kidding. That's 3. So that's 3. Let's get to 4, which is, man, how much money would I save in the last 4 years if I knew this one thing, which is leads, like prospects, do not magically come to you. I don't care how good your social media posting is. That every single successful business goes out and finds prospects and talks with them. They put in the effort to do the outreach.
Yeah. And so if you're a solopreneur, you cannot be afraid of sales. And that's one thing I think that stops people in their tracks. They're like, I'm not a salesman because they think of the sleazy car salesman, right?
Right.
And it doesn't have to be that way, especially when you're doing something that you love and you're really providing a service that actually solves a problem. You don't have to feel salesy because you're simply explaining what it is that you do, how it is it can help them and solve their problem. And that's it. If it's a good fit, they're going to retain you for their services. And if it's not a good fit, then perhaps there's, a little bit of advice that you can offer them and then they'll go on their way. And so don't ever feel like you're not a salesperson because we're all salespeople. We all convince people to do or not do something at some point. And when you have a product or a service that you truly believe in because it's something that you're doing that you want to do, it makes the process that much easier.
Right. So, of all the inbound marketing strategies that are out there to show you how to attract the right customers, those are all great, right? Writing blog posts, doing podcasts, creating communities, doing social media posts, all those things are to help create a community. But you have to do so much of that to build a brand. And guess what? Those businesses that have amazing brands still never stop doing the outreach. They're still going out and finding potential prospects. But now that they've created this brand with all of this trust and authority, those sales are just so much easier. So just know that yes, posting is important and doing reels and writing blog posts and doing your videos, whatever it is that you're doing inbound marketing to build that trust with your target audience. Amazing. That's one pillar. But to be in business, you have to sell. So go out and go to your leads where they're at. Don't be afraid to reach out to them. That was huge for me because I just felt like I was just posting to no end. No one was saying, oh, hey, I'd like to buy all your things. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? No, friend. You have to go be willing to put out the olive branch, say hello, let them know that you're a real person. And like Spring was saying, that you have a solution for a real problem.
Yeah. And there's some different marketing strategies. And I think maybe we should do an episode on that. Some good marketing strategies that we've used that worked for us. And that may be helpful to you guys as you think about, well, okay, I need to go to them or I need to reach out to them, but how do I do that? Right. So we could maybe do an episode on that later to talk to you guys about marketing strategies and what could be helpful, especially as mompreneurs, because we
Yes.
typically need things
Yes.
on autopilot.
Let's do a little bit of a spoiler. If anyone has not read this book by Alex Hermosi, this has every solution you need to market. The end.
The end, period. That's it.
Real tangible things. And this guy doesn't sell anything. So I bought it because I wanted the hard, like the actual cover, but you can get it free on us. It's 99 cents in Kindle. Yeah, it's a real deal. Okay. All right. So those are 4 things that we have figured out are advice that actually serves us. And let's go to number 5. Okay. I think I've hit on this enough, but maybe I haven't. This was really in my head when I was writing out some of these points. Okay. Creating the very best product or service, whatever your solution is, the best possible version of it, which means a lot of feedback, a lot of iterations. You keep making it spectacular. Having an amazing product is the only marketing that you'll ever really need.
True.
You have an amazing solution. What happens when you have the best experience, really solved your problem? I don't care if it's like a hanger that's amazing in your closet or like a cleaning solution. You go tell whoever is listening to you, right then and there about this amazing thing. I don't care what it is. I got like a new vacuum mop and I was like texting my family, this is the best $100 I've ever spent. You know what I mean? Like if it just solves your problem and you're just really happy with the experience, it's natural to say it out loud to the next person that's listening to you. Those are referrals, and referrals are free for you, my friend. So if you have an amazing product,
First of all, what is this vacuum mop that you got? Because I'm pretty sure I need this in my life.
it has like made parenting only half as hard.
So I need
That's
to
what
get
we're saying. It's the Shark. It's like a vacuum wet mop in one. You can like change it.
I saw that. So it really is worth it.
It really is worth it. I've had it for 3 years. Listen, this is the mompreneur playbook. We're going to say all things. We're going to help your life, make it easier in both realms. And if you're a mom, you're also like, oh my gosh, how do I clean my floors faster and more efficiently?
Yeah. So need to go find this because I've seen it and I was like, I was real skeptical about it.
Uh-huh.
So now
Uh-huh.
that there's confirmation, Shark, yeah, I'm coming for you. So
Okay, thank you. Full on example here, people. If you have an amazing product, you don't have to market for, right? Like it just, people will talk about it. Word of mouth is the best marketing that you can do. And that only comes when you have an outstanding product or solution. The businesses that really struggle, and listen, I work with a lot of agencies. So they are service based businesses. If your service is not outstanding, you are constantly in the hamster wheel of needing to go find more clients, right? If you have an amazing service or product, you're like sitting back because the whole goal is to keep your clients that you have. And yeah, the new ones will come as referrals are flying out the door. But you're like, I feel like we are in a state for business kind of knowledge of like how to get more clients, how to get more clients. Listen, if your product was good, you wouldn't have to like keep trying to figure out how to get more clients.
right.
Right. So
Exactly.
focus on your product and the rest will pretty much take care of itself.
It definitely will. And then also, it takes time to build up your reputation. So just remember that as well. And
Yes.
so, again, like we were saying in the beginning, it's all about the volume. You need to have a good amount of volume in the beginning with the reduced prices or even, a set of services that is free. It doesn't have to be all of the things that you offer. But when you're able to just get your service or your product out there at a reduced rate where more people can test it out and then say, oh, this is great. It's definitely worth it. You need to go get it. You need to go get it. Well, then when the demand goes up, the price goes up. Supply and demand, right? So there
Yeah.
you go.
I think it is the same author of that book, Alex Hermosi, that said, when you're offering things at a really reduced rate or free at the very beginning, like say you have a new framework that you're like, I really want to test this out. What you need commitment from those people who you are willing to work your tail off for a reduced rate or free. What you need from them is three things. One is a commitment to go through the service with you and do the things that they need to do. The other thing is that if it is really great for them to give you a testimonial, if it is wonderful. And the other thing is feedback. Like their feedback is your gold, right? So they have to be willing to give you feedback as well. So that's the exchange that you're doing in the very beginning. If you have a new system or method you want to test. Okay. Oh, this is such a great list. And we have three more and they're so good. So, hey, Winter. She's like, tell him.
She is in here. Let me see. Let me get her so you
Please
guys
get her.
can see her.
She's a doll. All right. So while we are getting Winter, let's go to fact number 6 that actually serves you in growing a business, which is that you do not need all the expensive products or services to be successful.
You don't. And I wish someone would have told me that in the beginning.
You don't have to look like you have been doing this for 25 years, right? And all your branding and marketing and all that stuff. You don't need all the frill. You just want to show or document how you're solving people's problems. That's really it. Hey, sweet girl. Oh, I can't even concentrate, little baby doll. Hi.
But one of the main things that Nicole said that's super important here is document, right? I'm horrible at documenting my process.
Mm-hmm.
I can, I can like guys. I have a background in HR, so I am accustomed to documentation and providing information when it's needed, right? But when it comes to me, for myself, for my business,
Mm-hmm.
documenting things, I'm just horrible for
Yeah,
whatever
I would
reason.
agree. I would
I'm a
agree.
block.
I don't know if it's because like personality or like our profession with being in the education world. I don't know what it is, but I always want to show a finished product. So it's hard to show like the messy middle, but that's what people want to see. So I just recorded a video yesterday just to go over like what is my essential front offer. So I do this like agency operations blueprint. We do an audit on their operational health. So it's a lot of really good in-depth work up front that agencies find very valuable. It's like someone actually looking at their operations from a sky view and working their way down. But showing that I do that is like hard because it's not pretty. It's not pretty. And I'm like, listen, we get a ton of value out of this. We actually have answers at the end of 2 weeks of having amazing conversation. We have an entire infrastructure of what their operations could be. But like, it's like, okay, cool. What else with that? So it's hard for me to put that out there as a way to document my process. That is a huge component of my process, but it's not always pretty. But that's what people want to see. Like, what does this mean when you do a blueprint and an audit? What does that mean? I'm like, okay, here it is.
And people do want to see the ugliness of it all. And you as the business owner, right? You want everything to be pretty and finished and like this is what it's gonna look like when it's done. It's gonna be beautiful and packaged nicely for you. But
Yeah.
people want the nitty-gritty. They're like, well, I'm not at this point. It doesn't look pretty right now. So how can we get there? And they want to see the ugly process of getting to the pretty.
So
And
true.
so that's where you have to be that's where you have to be strong and be able to document each of those steps so that you can relay that information to your clients or to your potential clients so they can see the full benefits of what you offer.
And maybe it helps them see themselves in that position, because I know there's a lot of business owners, like Spring said, where it's like, listen, I'm just making this work right now. We're trying to do the best we can. It's not pretty, it's not perfect, we know that, and we're not really excited to have someone do a deep dive into operations or a deep dive into organizational structures or culture or anything like that. But it's important for them to see like, oh, okay, so someone else has a similar starting point, not pretty, and you actually help them go from here to here, and this is how. So just know that you don't need all the expensive products and services to be successful. People want to see your documentation of the process, even the messy middle, and that is really just what you need to be successful, especially successful in your target market's eyes. Okay. I wanted to make a point here that the only thing you really need is to know your target market really well. So that's going to help you make a lot of decisions along the way instead of paying for someone else about their method that they took to be successful in their business, right? So if you can figure out and continuously learn about your target market struggles, their dreams, their motivations, their stressors, their goals, like short term and long term, what keeps them up at night, those are the pieces of facts, or those are the knowledge points that you need to be successful in your business and to help you make the right decisions. That's it. So just focus on your people, focus on your product. Okay. Is she just playing over there or what?
Yes, making a lot of noise. So I'm off and on mute.
Where are you talking, girl? Yeah, she just wants to be in it. Hey, honey.
So I
How?
gotta make my cameo.
Okay, so we have two more left. Spring, you really added this in, and I was like, this is so good. So, Spring, I'll say it, and then you give me some details on it.
Yes.
Your point is, listen, you can't do it all. but you need to at least get your feet wet into all aspects of your business so that when you are starting to hire freelancers and people to be part of your team, you actually have a direction to give them and feedback to support.
So I'm a firm believer in this because a lot of times what you'll see is that successful entrepreneurs will say, you just got to put your head down for like 2 weeks and bang it out and like come up for air when it's all done. That's not our reality. We don't have that kind of time. We can't just put our head down for 2 weeks. Sometimes we can't just even put our head down for 2 hours. And so that's not realistic, right? You do need to get your feet wet. You do need to be able to understand all the facets of your business, but only to be able to document the things that need to be done so that you can delegate that to the appropriate person. So like if you get an assistant and you need to tell them what to do, you'll have processes codified and you can tell them, okay, this is what I would do. This is how I did it. And then that can help them, but they don't necessarily have to do it the way you did it, as long as the end product is what you're wanting, what you're expecting. And so again, it's always important to be clear with the instructions that you give. And a lot of times, you're like, oh, I need help, but I don't even know what to tell anybody to help me with. Right. And so again, it's important that you have, what are you doing on a daily basis? Write that down. And then once you write down what you're doing, write down how you're doing it. And then you can tell someone, yeah, you agree? And then you can tell someone else, you can tell them what you're doing, what you've done, and how you want it done.
So when it comes to figuring out ads, when it comes to figuring out your marketing strategy and how to do sales and how to manage your pipeline and, deliver your services and do the bookkeeping and all the things, you want to have an understanding of each of those facets of your business, because as a mompreneur, we don't need to do everything in our business, but we do need to understand our business. And so I always say for mompreneurs, your goal really is to build a small but mighty team. And no, it doesn't have to be like full employees, it doesn't have to be full-time work or support, but a small group of people that you can rely on to help you run things is going to be probably the best fit for most mompreneurs. And it could be like 2 people on your team or whatever, but you've got to understand, you don't want to hand off parts of your business where you have no idea how that component runs and everything they're doing is just like in their wheelhouse. And if they happen to leave a year or 2 years from now, you're back to square one. You still want to have a great understanding of all the facets of business and then hand off the ones that you're not good at. That's my goal. Yeah.
And there's like a certain number of people, depending on the amount of revenue that you're making, that you want to consider. And this is something that we'll get into in a later episode, just how to structure your business according to the revenue that you're making. Right. Because you would think $1 million business needs like 1 million people working, but you really don't. You'd be surprised at how lean of a staff you can actually have, so that you still see a good amount of profit, but you have the help to keep the work, sustainable.
Yeah, absolutely. I cannot wait for Spring. She's going to lead that entire episode, and I cannot wait to dive into her organizational structure knowledge. Because having that lean team is like the dream, right? You're lean enough to stay nimble. You are lean enough to still have a good oversight and support your team as a leader. But that doesn't mean that it's going to mean small revenue. So right. That is an upcoming episode, and I cannot wait to learn all the things from Spring. I'm excited for that one. Yeah. All right. So we are down to 2 left. No, 1 left. I'm just like not keeping up with my numbers today. So we've said this in other episodes as well. It's because we know that this is true. And it's the fact that community truly does change your reality. So whoever is in your community right now, that is forming your reality. And so, although we're saying you don't need like super expensive products or services to build your business, if you need to pay, it needs to be for access to people who are doing big things, because that is the one way that's going to give you the biggest mindset shift to what your reality actually could be. It changes your reality.
It changes your entire reality, guys. Let me tell you. So last year I told myself, okay, I need a business coach. And the first coach that I hired just wasn't really in alignment with what I needed. Not good, not bad. I think she would be great for those who were like starting out and just beginning and needing help really figuring out how to get started and where to go. But for me, I needed someone who was a little bit more experienced and who had gotten to the 6 and 7 figure revenue point, because that's where I was at the time. And so when I did find a coach who was able to help me see the bigger picture, to help me set those even more ambitious goals than before, it was a game changer. It has been a game changer, and it still is a game changer. And I'm still learning. I'm still, you know, figuring things out. But just the possibilities that opened up and the community of people that
Mhm.
I've met through that network,
Mhm.
it has been amazing. And so, like Nicole said, it is always a great idea to be a part of a community that can help you level up, because you want to be around people who are at least doing what you're doing or more, so
Mhm.
that you can tap into their expertise,
Right.
tap into the networks that they already have established. And then it's a mutually beneficial relationship.
Yeah. So we're saying community is so important for you to continue on any journey, because there's highs and lows, and you always want to be able to see, okay, well, I'm not in this alone. Someone also is kind of crazy and building a business and raising a family at the same time. But also having access to those communities where they are just doing things that maybe you didn't even think were possible. And that's really what I'm talking about. So if you are going to invest in something for your business and investing in yourself, there should be a community aspect of it when you're in a room with people, a room, virtual room or real room, with people who, like I always say, like if someone's asking questions and it's questions you never even thought about because they are 10 steps ahead of you, you're in the right room,
Yes.
because
And
it literally shifts what you think is possible for you.
mhm.
Yeah.
And then it's one of those things where it's like, oh my gosh, I never even thought about that, but I need to start thinking about that
Mhm.
because I'm moving in that direction. And so they talk about problems that
Right.
they're having that you didn't realize you were going to be having too.
Yeah.
So
Or
it's
even the possibility that you could get to that level where that problem
yes.
is realistic, right?
Yeah,
That's really what I think is the biggest point of this fact that we want to state is your reality will change if you're in a room with people who have different realities than you.
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so those are eight things that we wish we knew 3, 4 years ago. I would have saved a lot of time, a lot of money. These are the real things that will help you grow a business without the extra hoopla. And so, yeah, we're not selling anything here. This is literally what has helped us in the midst of raising cute little babies and building a successful business.
So glad that we were able to come to you guys today. It's been a while, so forgive us. Life was lifing. But
It's so true.
but just to recap, just in case, first and foremost, the more you can do, the better, the more success you'll have. Secondly, you don't need to be you don't need to be everywhere doing all the things all the time. You don't need to have a magical offer that has this cute code name to it. Just figure out the problem, offer the solution. Fourth, the leads won't magically find you. You have to go out and get them. Fifth, make sure that you have the best possible solution to whatever the problem is, and that's going to be your best marketing tactic. The seventh thing is you can't do it all, but you need to at least be able to know what needs to be done, so that you can, when you hire someone, you can effectively delegate to them. And last but not least, make sure you have a strong community, a community of people that are either doing the things that you're doing or more, so that you can lean on them when you need them.
Amazing. So if you're looking for a community right now who are mamas that are doing the same thing as you, building a business, maybe they are newer, maybe they're a little bit further down on the journey, maybe they have been in the journey, but they've made a couple pivots. So it might feel like they're back to square one or similarly. You can join our community, which is the Facebook group, the Mompreneur Playbook. Like we say, this is a space, a safe space to talk about how hard it is to be a mom and raise a business, but all the amazing things that come along with it as well. And Winter will be there too.
She will always be around, so no worries.
Yeah. She
All
wants to
right,
be
guys.
all right.
It has been a pleasure. We always enjoy coming live to you guys. But please, again, leave us a comment. If you're watching live, hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. Leave us your thoughts, ideas for future episodes, and just any other updates you want to give us, because we love hearing about the babies.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye.